Okay, as promised, guess where we are? We're at Tara Shaw's amazing shop here on Magazine Street in New Orleans. You're in for a real treat. But part of the reason why I love this one is part of her ability to be able to mix and curate it in such a way that there's so many textures that you're going to fall in love with her shop and with her. Now, I haven't seen her yet. She's going to be arriving. She got in late last night on a trip. So to say that she is the queen of can-do is definitely the way we are going to say Tara is, because she got in late last night and she's kind enough to be here to meet you all today. So but I want you to look in the window. Look at the juxtaposition of this. Look at this gorgeous chandelier. There's some Giacometti inspiration here. I'm going to find out whose this is. But look at this gorgeous console. Look at the details on it. And just all these vintage hotel, I don't even know what they're called. I'm going to ask Tara. And then mix that with these iron industrial looking chairs. Fabulous. Now come over here. Look at this. I love this chest. On it is spectacular, but look on it with the juxtaposition of these pots, crystal lamps, oversized shades, probably a 16th, 17th century mirror artwork here, and then look at this gorgeous sepia tone screen, which I'm just going to tell you, I know we're not supposed to have it, but I'm coveting these screens. They're absolutely beautiful. All right, are you ready? Let's go inside.
Amy, Howard, and Jamie. I just can't, I can squeeze you.
You're so sweet. Is she going to come up here in a robe and some
My husband is like this. And I said, my stomach better not growl. Sorry about that. So I haven't washed my hair since Asia. But I would do anything for y'all. Do you understand that?
She was speaking Vietnamese coming in here. She was always up.
You look fabulous.
I love
fabulous.
You so sweet.
And my heart, I told somebody earlier, I said, my heart just goes pitty-pat. And they were like, no, what was it? What is Bambi? What did they say in Bambi? That you would always say, as far as when somebody loves something. Twitter-pated.
Oh, Twitter-pated.
Oh, totally Twitter-pated. And they were like, I've only had one other person that said that. And I was like, I'm totally Twitter-pated.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so come over here. We've got your
Linda, precious one behind the camera. You know, Linda Hall is incredible behind the camera. She's been doing this since COVID, when the book launched during COVID, and we looked at one another and we said, are we going to sell 2 books? And we did an interview and they said, why aren't you doing videos? And I thought, well, all right, Linda, get out the camera. So we learned a lot over these years, but she's awesome.
Yes.
And you know, usually my husband, when he's doing the video, I said, why did you just video my rear end on this? Could you tell me that? But instead of
she's got a good cameraman.
I'm like, okay.
Okay, so come here. We've Linda and I talked. We've got a plan. I want.
Is this your work?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. I want the people that are watching to know a little bit about you, because that's important.
Okay.
All right. So tell us, and I think what I'm most excited about today is for people to be able to, one, maybe they've never started collecting antiques.
Oh, wow.
I want them to start collecting, and I want you to tell them what their first piece needs to be. But tell everybody, how did you get into this? Like, where did you start? And I have a female audience.
Okay.
Most of them are very creative. Their home is their muse.
I love that.
And they get nervous about making decisions about what to
Sure.
buy or the investments or whatever. And so I would just love to know how you got started and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So, let's see how I got started. Well, I went to school for education. Stood in front of the second grade class and knew in my heart that was not my calling. Like I wasn't supposed to teach children. But I believe I went into education because it required the least amount of math in college. So I had a meeting with myself.
Do y'all understand this?
I had a meeting with myself and I said, so what do you spend all your money on? And I spent all my money on apparel. So I got a job as a buyer, and then a rep said to me, what in the world are you doing buying for this department store? You know, you could be a rep. So I flew to New York, went to the garment, got off Port Authority, went to the garment district, visited showrooms, and came home with multiple lines. And I opened first one showroom in Dallas and then a second showroom there for another division that became a big thing for Liz Claiborne. So at that point, I had multiple showrooms and reps that worked for me that were the most amazing women. So we've run this thing like an all-girl crew. I had all-girl reps. It was girl power. And not that I don't love guy power, because I sure do rely on a lot of men in my business because,
and our boys, your guy, my guy, our travel partners.
Absolutely.
Our book carriers. When I go to the flea market in Paris and I'm buying all these books, and he's like, please don't ask me to carry those books. So,
gee, amazing. But so, at that point, I had two showrooms. I then had enough money to buy one nice piece of furniture. So I didn't want to make a mistake. I'm just like your audience. I was petrified I would make a mistake. And so I was reading World of Interiors, Architectural Digest. Veranda had just come out. And Lisa Newsom had just started Veranda, after the Southern accents thing. And so I'm trying to find out if country French was really prevalent at the time. And I was trying to find out if I was Swedish, French, Italian. I saw all these different mixes. I remember Farrah Fawcett's Home and seeing this huge side Twombly over antique piece in a 17th century Italian chest on stand. And of course, I had no idea the cost of a side Twombly. I knew that I loved contemporary art mixed with antiquity. I loved it, and I loved it with comfortable contemporary comfortable contemporary seating.
Okay, so Jean's going to let the delivery guy in.
Okay.
So I want to stop right there for a second.
Okay.
Those of you that are watching, and this is really important as far as the education process of it, because a lot of people are thinking that the art and the period of the furniture all kind of need to be the same.
Right.
And what you were saying about the juxtaposition of very contemporary art, which is what you have in your shop, next to an antiquity, and that's a very curated, refined eye. Like, for you, it's very natural, but it is so elevated. Walk somebody through how it was the curating. Did it happen through looking at training your eye in magazines and books, or was it something in here that you were just like, that's what I love?
Well, I just go back to being self-taught, because I believe we all had that gift in us. You know, if you have a love for your home, and like you said, your followers, their home is their muse. So I believe you follow your heart. And, you know, I represent artists here, contemporary artists that appeal to my heart. And so we sell an abundance of art with this antiquity, but, you know, it's really what you're drawn to. I say follow your heart, you know, collect art that you personally love, because this is really your curated collection.
True.
That's the most important thing, is to buy something that really you want to look at for, let's say, the rest of your life.
Right.
But if it's not the rest of your life, you're going to do like I did. You're going to start with this piece that you can afford in your main area, your living area. So I went out, you know, in my quest for my first antique, I was looking for a desk because, frankly, I was a workaholic. So I did a ton of work at a desk. So I wanted to love my desk. I turn the corner and I see an armoire. And it was love at first sight. So I had to really have a meeting with myself and say, okay, if someone else buys this armoire, doesn't end up in your home, are you going to regret it? And the answer was yes. And so I made my first big purchase, which was an armoire. I put it in my living room to house my media, like my television and stereo and whatnot. So that was the main attraction, my main focus in my main living area. And it was very important to me. And every time I looked at it, I swooned. I was so excited that I bought that. But as time went on, that armoire went into, as I started collecting more, into our master bedroom and house television, all. Now it resides, it's still in my possession, I'm still in love with it, in my cabana. So, you know, I believe you recreate your home so you wouldn't wear the same clothes every day.
Right.
You recreate your home to re-inspire yourself.
100%.
And so...
And moving it around.
Yes, very important.
The other night, I was literally resetting the cocktail table. And I was resetting the chest and stacking things. And that brings me joy. I mean, it's fun. And so I did it as a child, and I still do it now. One of the things... There are a lot of things I love about this woman. I love that she expresses herself so beautifully with her clothes, with her apparel, with everything from her glasses to how curated it is in here. I love that she loves to work a lot. But, and there's not a whole lot of people for me that I can connect with because of the story that we both had over all these years. But also the fact that she is so real and so genuine, and that she loves the Lord, and that she wants to share what is very joyful to her with other people. And so that's a very rare quality. And I was going to ask you, I was like, what brings you joy? What would you say when somebody says, and I know we're here and we're talking about design and we're talking about furniture, because there's so many things. But now at this point in your life, what brings you the most joy?
You know, I have been through a lot of, we've had a lot of ups and downs in the city of New Orleans. We had Hurricane Katrina. We then had Hurricane Ida, where I had to not live in my house for 2 years because my whole 100-year slate mansard roof came off, so I had 3 stories of water. So, you know, I believe you reassess your joy. You know, I broke my leg and during that time period and had to have a rod in my leg. Linda slept on the floor in the showroom because the hospital turned me away because they didn't have a bed. And my husband texted a surgeon that he knew that could do surgery, 2 days later. So when I think about it, we have, a ton of ups and downs here. And you have to remember, although I do get angry and upset, the people that God has surrounded me with, Linda sleeping on the floor next to me, sleeping on a Mies van der Rohe, my office, setting up the bed.
That's a pretty classy thing to sleep on.
Of course, God has allowed me to even in the pits have some cool stuff.
Fabulous.
Yeah. So, number one, I have a crazy team. I could kill them a lot of times, but I am overjoyed that I can rely on people that totally have my back, have my heart, have the best interests. My husband was diagnosed with something that's not supposed to be curable, but yet I am hopeful and joyful because I believe in God's promises and I pray them every day, and I'm surrounded with this team that prays. I mean,
it's important.
Gives me joy. The fact that I have a house, that's been reconstructed. It went from a lemon after Hurricane Ida to lemonade. I'm flying in from Asia. I've been in Asia since the 13th, and I'm flying in from Asia, and I get here at 1 in the morning, even though I was supposed to be here at 3 in the afternoon yesterday. And I thought, oh my word, I could pinch myself that I get to come home to this house.
And it's so fabulous.
My husband that says to me, even though I look like the wreck of the Hesperus, this morning he says to me, oh, did anybody tell you how beautiful you are? Linda,
Take note, Gene Howard.
Hello. So I'm like this, okay.
Gene just said he read his book. All right, so will you walk us through the shop?
Oh,
I want people to feel like after they watch this, it's like, one, that they know you, that they fall in love with you, that they buy your book, and we're going to put a little note up there. You can go to tarashaw.com, and we're going to put a link to the book that they can buy it.
Okay, awesome.
It will inspire you, and it will be where you can get started as far as really training your eye. But take us around and show us some of your favorite things. Tell us, what it's called, the period of it,
okay.
So we can educate everybody else.
Okay. So, if you want a signed copy, you can buy it from our website. But you don't have to, because you can buy it so much cheaper from Amazon. So I'm just saying, if you want to buy the book, it's really my journey about collecting, because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't want to make a mistake. And it really is a journey. And you know what? It's supposed to be a wonderful journey, not a scary journey. So I wanted to break it down, break furniture periods down, and how we use those periods.
So let me ask you, if you go to tarashaw.com, will they get a signed copy?
Yes.
Okay, that's what you want to do.
Right.
So I want them to have an autographed copy. So, all right. So take us around. Let's go over here. And Linda's going to come with us. And in this area, which is all fantastic, but tell us one of your favorite pieces and why. I will tell you, I'm coveting this. I know I'm not supposed to covet. But this screen.
This screen. So that's a whole nother story. I bought this pair of screens before we even the showroom wasn't finished. I found them in Béziers, France. And it was just one of those things. I thought, wow, we have a vitrine with 2 windows on the end. We are making these screens in a reproduction. And so we have a line launch with Century Furniture in October of this year at High Point at their showroom. So we've been working on this for about a year, but they're manufacturing those pieces, but we thought we would bring in things like this and like our side panels that they could purchase from us.
Yes.
Because Century doesn't really do wall decor and things like that.
And wall decor is essential for the look that you're wanting to be able to inspire. So I love that. But so
okay, so this is a mason bench that we actually hand turn these legs. We gild these legs. We do all this work in the city of New Orleans. This is an 18th century Italian settee or banquette. You know, different countries use different terms, but this has water gilding, which is Amy. You know, you could give lessons and lessons and lessons about the gilding process.
Yes.
But water gilding is what I'm always looking for in Europe.
Yes.
Because
is it getting harder to find?
I find that just things are always harder to find. Good things or you're always searching for treasure. So I bought this bench because of the water gilding.
Yes.
I loved it.
Fabulous.
It was the original green from the 1700s. It's the original water gilding. You know, I don't mind if things are missing gilding or, you know, dented up. I never really repair things when I bring them into my home.
To me, it's the beauty of it.
I know it. It just
it's
feels
my thing is, we just got through watching a lot of the Benjamin Franklin series that Michael Douglas did. It's fabulous. But their dress and how, you know, what they wore and the wigs, everything. And I think about what those people look like using this bench.
I know. Can you imagine?
No.
The attire they wore?
No.
Because, you know, at that time period, things were not manufactured. They didn't really become mass-produced until we get into the period of Louis Philippe. And even then, they really weren't mass-produced per se. But we started seeing repetitive design, like Louis Philippe commodes and things like that. But so this was made for one person, and that's one of the things I absolutely adore about an antiquity, and especially if you want to have a home that reflects who you are, because when you buy something that is a true antique, that means that was made for one person, and you're not going to see this bench again. So you will not see this Spanish table again. That's so important to me.
This, you know what's funny to me is knowing the age on this piece, and I want you to be able to share with us, but the age on this piece, the style of it looks so new to me. Now, I don't mean new that you would see, because just the juxtaposition of playing off of a settee like this that's prissy, which I love, but this feels almost new and fresh, even though it's very, very old. So tell us about the Spanish table.
So I bought this Spanish table in the south of France, even though it's Spanish, you know, furniture would travel. So people would move and have second homes. But I was so attracted to it. I love beautiful warm woods. I could see this as a dining table or as a desk. I would certainly make this my desk. You know,
fabulous desk.
And I'm always attracted to faces and hooves on feet. So I loved the detailed carving. You know,
fabulous.
All this was done by hand.
I want you to get close enough so that way they can see.
Look at this incredible iron stretcher. Now, you know, that was at the time when everything was basically hand forged. So that's a hand forged stretcher in iron that connects the legs together. And what I'm so charming about it is here we have it with a Lynn Sanders piece of art. And look how fresh this is. Just like Amy said, you know, even though this is from the 18th century or 1800s, this feels so fresh when it has the right juxtaposition. So you are looking for something that is going to make your home not look like grandmother's home,
Right.
but look like
much more elevated
Right.
and curated.
Exactly.
So you wouldn't want to put an older 18th century landscape over this. It would make it feel,
right. So
I don't want to say anything negative to
Right.
other people, but this to me just elevates it, which this, look at this table. This is a gorgeous farm table, trestle
Right.
table. But I love, would you call this a handkerchief chair?
So yes, this is an Italian table, and they did whitewash at the base somewhere along the line. But you're going to see one of the things that I find so interesting when I buy antiquity is to see things like screws that are, you know, 100 years old, and pegs, and look at the way they repaired
Yes. Oh, I love it.
this plank on this table, and the way they plugged it right here. I'm fascinated by that.
The
but
texture,
yet-
the visual texture.
Right, but yet I'm drawn to it. So I'm looking for imperfections, because in the book I say that's exactly what I want to come home to. I live a very imperfect life, and I don't want my home to be perfect. I want
And
people to
comfortable.
feel relaxed.
I think
and
that's one
comfortable.
thing you
Yes.
need to remember. If we, as our own designers, or if we're working with the designers, if we have made it to where people feel that it's untouchable, or if it's not relatable, then I think we failed as bringing people into our home, which is, as a woman, is an extension of herself.
Right.
That they're like, I feel comfortable here, I'm not nervous about sitting on something, and I love, it's perfectly imperfect.
Perfectly imperfect. That's, you know, that's what we embrace here. This is really our mantra. We don't really fit. If a leg is broken, of course we're going to send it
Right.
to the repair person and fix it. But I mean, we are selling this.
Yes.
It's a lifestyle.
Yes.
This is our lifestyle. We want people to feel that casual elegance when they go home, and it's not kid friendly. I mean, what kid could do? What child could
Just use it.
destroy something that's been, 200 years
Yes.
in the loving
Yes.
with other families?
Our puppies have destroyed our evening. Tell everybody, why would you put this Italian handkerchief chair with this very vintage, more provincial style table?
For me, it's the hip factor. I love contemporary and mid-century. So it is using those elements with antiquity, I feel, that makes your home feel collected,
I couldn't agree more.
And here are these
Those are
chairs
yummy. They're
that-
so yummy to me.
so comfortable. And during this time period, what was happening during mid-century is they were understanding ergonomics, really how to make things more body contour.
Right.
So that's what I really like about these chairs, is the curvature in the back, and you can sit there and have dinner for hours and discuss all these wonderful things with your family and friends. And so I feel that it invites you into this setting.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. One thing, as you span the showroom, there's a lot of linen, There's a lot of white. There's, it's like the white on the upholstery. Is it on purpose that you do that so you see the texture of the wood, that you see the water gilded mirrors and the antique mirror? Is there a reason for that? Do you feel that a fabric of a pattern or a color would take away? Talk about that.
So I'm really not a pattern person. Of course, I love Versailles. We created Versailles fabric. We put it on upholstery and things like that. But when I'm dealing with something like an antique, I am going to want the beautiful patina. If we go back to the Swedish 18th century trog sofa,
Say that again. What is that called?
So this is an 18th century Swedish trog. That's T-R-A-A-G, sofa.
Trog, okay.
And so this is a Belgian linen in a neutral.
Yes.
And of course, if you love pattern, you would maybe want to do a pattern with this beautiful green in it. For me, we kept it neutral because we wanted people to really see the patina of the wood. And so I feel that when we use Belgian linen, which we use on a lot of our pieces, it's because we are upselling the piece. We are saying, this is the importance of this, and we want you to notice
I'm
it.
your sister from another mother. That's all I'm going to say. So here's something else I want you to realize. The furniture is the art. Art doesn't have to hang on the wall. When you make an investment, this is why I struggle so much with a lot of the companies that are producing furniture, because it's throwaway furniture. This is something you'll keep for the rest of your life. So if you think about something that you're going to buy and replace again and again, it's like, be true to yourself and start really collecting something, so that way, especially, you can go, that's what we bought at Tara's shop when we were in New Orleans. That's what we bought at the Paris flea market. You can remember.
Right.
So it was funny when we walked in here, Linda asked me, it was like, do you want me to make a list? I said, I've got to watch Gene and see what he's gravitated to, because it's a lot easier to buy something if I know he's excited about it as well. So, but I think this is absolutely a piece of art.
Right, I totally agree with you. And then when you think that somebody hand carved this Rococo shell, each and
Yeah, it'd be great to get a detail on that. That is so
on this, and all hand done. And then some, and I love, because you're so great with this, with your furniture. You know where to create wear, but this wear was
It's real.
born.
It's real.
This was born on this piece of furniture. In other words, people touch this area a lot. So, we embrace that. We love that. It's the character of it. Then we paired it with a mid-century Little Lyre coffee table from Europe. And
so the lyre, Linda, can you get a picture as far as the lyre? That is a lyre. That's why that's called that, a piece of an instrument. So
Right.
Well,
yes, L-Y-R-E.
Not Y. I'm going to go through. I want you to know, I'm going to go through. We could literally spend 3 hours in here.
I love you.
It's I mean that. Yeah, I think you know that. Like, there's not a whole lot of places that I can go that I would walk in and say I wouldn't change anything. Like, nothing. Like, I could take it all home, and that makes me so happy. As you heard me say earlier, I'm totally Twitter-pated in here over everything. In my heart, I'm sure my blood pressure's gone up a lot. But I wanted you to meet her. I want you to get her book. I want you to go to Tara Shaw. I'm going to put a link in. I'll call my office. And I want you to get an autographed copy of her book. And I want you to start studying it. And looking at it and really training your eye, and then hopefully you can come to New Orleans and come in her shop and let them help you find your first fabulous piece.
Right. The journey starts with one piece, and I had to, in my heart, and I talk about it in the book, you have to know when to pull the trigger. A lot of people, I feel, miss things. They'll call us and they'll say, do you have such and such? We look at it, and Linda will say, no, we've sold that. Because, this furniture goes coast to coast. Shippers come, every day, every week. And so I think it's very important to listen to your heart, connect to what you love, start your collection, and embrace it. I think being happy in your home is probably one of the greatest joys. To walk into your home like I walked in at 1 this morning, and I thought, I want to pinch myself, with joy.
Because I get to live here. Yes.
Because I get to live here with these things that I've had the opportunity to collect. And it's been a wonderful journey, and it should be a fearless journey, because, what you're surrounded with is a reflection of who you are. And if you're drawn to something, that is your heart speaking to you. So,
and it's your way of inviting people in your home to things that you love.
Yes.
And it truly, for a woman, her home is an extension of herself. And sadly, a lot of our husbands will really never fully understand that. They love us, so they put up with it, as Gene Howard does. But thank you.
Oh,
I hope you see now why Tara is such a love. And we love her, and we love every little tiny thing about her. She's absolutely fabulous, and she loves Jesus. So,
What's Tara's favorite piece in here?
oh yeah, what is your favorite piece?
Oh boy. So
what's your favorite child? You can't.
I'm probably gonna talk about this cabinet. It was made by this famous cabinet maker in Italy that literally started this type of scribing, and it has been followed for generations. And
Yeah, it's
so
spectacular.
interesting.
That's a museum piece.
So
Really.
I love it. I am always, my thing is, how do you let the children go? Like Linda will say, I sold such and such today, and I would say, I was thinking about taking that home. I was thinking about that, Linda, and Linda's like this. Well, you didn't tell me that, but I think that's the whole thing. You have to let your children go.
Well, I will tell you, and though you can watch this, and I'll figure it out, because I was like, going to talk to Jean, but I said, this chandelier would look so good over my bathtub.
Oh!
And Linda said you used to have it over your bathtub.
That's right. That is right.
So I think that means I'm supposed to have that over
That's
myself.
right. I love that. Brilliant. I mean, brilliant minds think alike. So, birds of a feather flock together.
That's right. That's
We've been
right.
friends for so many years. And
We've
I appreciate
schlepped markets
Oh,
for
my
years.
word. Oh,
Yes.
the joy.
Oh, I know. It's part of, it's here, it's here, it's here, it's all over me. So stay tuned. Go to the link that we're going to provide you. Be sure and get your Tara Shaw book, and I promise you won't regret it. We love you guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Bye.